is in fact unknown. It is Warp Chimalu. Warp Chimalus. There we go. Sick. Cake got my back. Good. I'm nervous. Are you guys nervous? Who's talking? You want to chat with me? I hear somebody.
Yeah, sorry, I'll mute myself.
Hey, sup?
Didn't realize.
I mean, if someone wants to just like chat with me and meme me super hard while I'm doing this, I wouldn't mind actually. It would help me relax. How many people we got? How many wonderful, loving souls do we have? Not quite the 800 that I anticipated on Twitter, but it's pretty good. It's like 40, 50 maybe. Pretty good. Each and every one of you is special. You should know that. Never forget it. Hold it close to your heart for the rest of your days. We're going to make sculpturing great again, as if it ever was. Thanks, Logic. I'm glad you think so. Just joined Mindplex already. Jeez. There are so many build teams now, it's amazing. Like, I was never one to keep in touch with, you know, everything that was going on with the community. And now it's just overwhelming. There's so many freaking great build teams. What time is it? It's 4:57. So my secret to doing these absolutely perfect masterclasses is having a document of notes. And it makes me rigid and unable to improvise. It's very useful. Yep, notes are the best. If you depend on them over time, you become unable to express true creativity anymore. I highly recommend it. Try not to use too many like big words and confusing sentences in this class. That'll probably happen. I often confuse myself when I talk. Yes, you found the pink guy organic. It's pretty unmistakable. I don't know why I put it here, because I thought it was a good pose, I guess. Yeah, I tried to give him like the I tried to give him the good old Papa Franco face. On such a small scale and at that angle, it's kind of tricky, but I feel like, yeah, so we're gonna get started pretty quick here. Actually, I'm gonna put on some like very soft music just for myself to help me relax while we do this class. Should I listen to something like intense and driving that just like pushes me right into the groove, or should I listen to something that's kind of airy and feck it, I'll just listen to this one. You guys will never find out what it is. Probably not the best idea. It's gonna change my mood. Kagodai, Chim, you should do a bit on small hands. They're very hard. Small hands in particular. Yeah. Well, the fewer pixels you have to work with, the more abstract you can afford to be. So the larger the hand. What's up?
Hi, Chim.
Hi, who are you?
Stuffy.
Sup, Stuffy? I just hear like a male voice with a relatively low tone, and I think, oh, this could be anyone that I know from the internet. I have to turn the volume of my music down just a smidge more. Yeah, I think this is going to be fine. So, for those of you who still need to make it over to the classroom area, do you a quick warp Chimalus, and that'll get you right over there. The broadcast is truth. There's never been a truer broadcast. Not even Hitler did a broadcast as true as this. So, welcome to, the final class of BuildCon 17. Techniques and Philosophies of Minecraft Sculpture. Surpassing Perfection. The title is intentionally pretentious, and it may not be exactly the title that you were hoping for, but hopefully I will manage to explain why it is that way. Welcome. Before we start, again, I would like to encourage you guys to get onto the BuildCon server if you're not already there and do Chimalus. I'll be demonstrating some of the talking points visually. So if you're just in the Discord, you won't get as much out of it. But it's okay if you're just in the Discord. Plus, if you come on the server, you'll be able to claim a plot and test out some of the concepts and techniques that we discuss. The first 45 minutes or so, I rarely get these plans right, should be the bulk of the material, and then we'll open up for a Q&A, in which I'll probably say a lot of the things I should have said in the main bit. As for the sculptures lying around my central plot here, they're just some things I've made since the previous BuildCon. I won't talk about them much, except for one in particular, but feel free to use them as instruction or inspiration or like just material to hate on, any of those, or ask about them if you like. So let's get started. I'm going to start with a little story, actually, if you wouldn't mind following along. It's a story of images. Oh, that did not copy the thing I wanted it to copy. It copied entirely the wrong thing, and actually it deleted the thing that I wanted to copy instead of copying it. Okay, I think we got that right. Yes, hopefully this links you to the right thing. There it is. You will see in the events chat, Eloku's growth, still a beb. A link on Imgur there. So if you guys click on that link, I'll just give you a little bit of time to get there in the events chat. You will find a series of photos detailing the evolution of a certain man, a certain special man, who has become quite a special part of my life. And his evolution has sort of inspired how this class is going to go. The first picture is from spring of 14, just a tiny little bird, and his name is Eloku. He's from a story I'm writing. He's a special character to me. He's my OC. Second picture, you can see it's significantly later, about a year and a half later. I started thinking to myself, all right, I want to really focus on making this guy big and huge in Minecraft, and I want this to be a challenge. I want to push myself to my limits. So I made a rather whatever sketch, but the point was just to kind of lay out the basic pose of it. And then I took a little picture, kind of a preview of what the Minecraft version was going to be like. And you can see me saying, hoo hoo hoo, just a little progress report, hoo hoo hoo. These are images that I posted on Twitter, along with the captions that I put on Twitter. So anyone who's been following me on Twitter kind of knows this story already. You can see some more images. Behold more work on Le Secret Birdie, No Smooth, and behold, unfinished and crap, Bird Fist. Await him, he tiptoes to you, just me saying random stuff. So you can see he looks kind of odd in some of these, to say the least. Large hips, like narrow shoulders, just things that look a little weird pose. His face looks kind of innocent, baby-like. He doesn't seem to be doing anything in particular. You keep scrolling down. He's doing kind of a weird thing with his hand. His just body is disproportionate in general. I got a close-up from 31st of October slurp at his traps and kind of shoulder muscles. Keep going down. January 2015. He just keeps growing, I say. He's doing another weird pose there, but he's a little bit bigger. I've been packing on the muscle a little bit. And you can see that by the 26th of January, I had gotten a bit self-conscious and just decided to like black it out completely. I guess I hadn't expected to be working this long on an organic. Let's put it in perspective, though. This was January 2016, and it is now, April 2017. So let's keep going. We have more. February, getting closer. Another from February. Oh, my sweet swaying son. Apparently, I liked how he looked from that particular angle. Closer and closer. Another picture, still pecking away. And by this one, in 29th of March, he's got kind of this forward thrust to him. He's looking like he's starting to do something. He's gonna run towards someone, try to attack them. Doesn't have a hand. None of these are anywhere near finished. They're just silhouettes of rough shape. He's coming. We're getting there. And then I think by 8th of April, I had sort of given up for the moment and decided to just make a bunch of funny bird heads. So I made that sort of a small meme on Blockworks. 22nd of April. But since you guys waited so patiently, here's my progress review. Stay silhouette. And the Birdman so far, do you like him? It's just a little random cardinal with like two heads on top of each other. So I had started to take it a little less seriously by that point. And we have a huge break from April 2016 to December 2016. At this point, I had met some very awesome people at Minecon, Steven and his team from the 3D Sunshine project. And they got me in touch with, they got me a hold of a Vive. So I've been doing sculpting with virtual reality headset and handholds controllers. So I did a version of Aloku in there. Moving right along, I picked up relatively steady work on it. And this was sort of a larger version of the head that I did. And I didn't take a whole lot of pictures of my process around this particular time because I was extremely self-conscious and my skill was improving little by little. And I was vividly aware of the flaws, every little in the anatomy, but just kind of not unable, but at the moment, unable to fix them because I was uneducated, and I still am uneducated. And that's kind of the point of this story. We're getting to the end. Got all these random bird heads, just organics equals crippling depression. Then February 25th, I have this interesting shot of a just absolutely enormous Aloku, who, if he stood up, would be probably 600 blocks tall. And the original small one next to him. So here we have the fruit of my labor, relatively nothing. If you come back to the server and look up, still a more attractive bird than Magnamalo, damn zing. But if you look up around the center of my plot, you will simply see the bird head. This is the fruit of my labor, a head. Looks better in game than the pictures. Yeah, it kind of does. I have still lots of in-progress bodies on the Blockworks server, but it's just nowhere near complete. I wanted to finish him for BuildCon, but too bad. Too bad for me, too bad for you, too bad for everybody. And the point of me showing you and sharing this with you is that making a living creature, especially a human, for me at least, is one of the most daunting challenges a visual artist can face. Humans intuitively know what humans look like, so any fool on the internet can pick out the tiniest flaw in your work and make you feel like a failure. That feeling is what I'm here to help us overcome. If you have it in the first place, hopefully you don't. And I hope I'll be able to share with you some tools and insights that encourage you in your pursuit of a creation, be it a person, animal, or fantastical monster, or a robot, that makes you feel satisfied with imperfection. I've been on that journey for a while. It's at times ecstatic, others miserable. It's a journey we all take as creators, architects, sculptors, terraformers, renderers, developers, and it's a journey with a twist. As old teachings say, the key to escaping the prison of perfection is to accept that perfection is impossible, but to act as if it weren't. It's not the goal of perfection that matters, it's the running toward it, giving your all. So the second thing I'm here to do is ignite a passion in current or would-be Minecraft sculptors that might drive them toward a goal that can never be reached. Sounds productive, right? I've been asking myself, what's the most important thing I can give Minecrafters at all levels, whether they're experienced or primarily architects, or I should redo that sentence. I've been asking myself, what's the most important thing I can give Minecraft sculptors at all levels, whether they're experienced or primarily architects trying to get into sculpture, or just noobs altogether, that will help them get rid of their biggest roadblocks. Like I said, I'm standing in front of a pretty big roadblock right now. So the things I'm going to share with you are some of the same things I've been using to spur myself along. I'm the sort of person who tends to learn things backwards. I'm ashamed to admit this, but I do tons of trial and error. And after I've failed enough, I start to look at established methods. So in my continuous perfecting of Eloku and of various other organics, I've been forced to explore various avenues of education. And this is a very basic concept that anyone who's done basic figure drawing knows, anyone who's done basic sculpting knows. And maybe some people in the Minecraft community don't know. I didn't know about it until recently. I kind of knew about it intuitively, but I didn't know the words, and I didn't know that people were teaching classes on it. And the concept is structure versus gesture. How many of you guys know what structure versus gesture is? Sweet. So some of you guys know what it is. That's pretty sick. Yeah, last year I did like an elements of sculpture class where I went over a few different things, but this was not one of the things I went over. We got Magna Malo saying structure is the construction of the body, whereas gesture is the construction of the movement. That is a very eloquent way of putting it. Indeed, structure is the contours or the blocks of the body, depending on how you want to build the body. And the gesture is the line of action moving through the body. It is not the structure of the body itself. It's not the muscles. It's not the bones. It's the movement. But briefly on structure, I want to give kind of a strange introduction to this because there's a misnomer in the Minecraft community which refers to architecture as structure. But in my opinion, structure is too broad a term. In the wider world, structure is used to refer to a lot of different things, whereas architecture in its most common use refers to buildings. So in my opinion, Minecrafters should probably knuckle down on this and call buildings architecture and structure structure, because plenty of other objects are chock full of structure, namely organics, which have skeletons and muscles. A sculpture, if you're trying to give it a sense of life, needs to look like it could support its weight in thousands of different poses and perform complex tasks in those poses. Because in real life, that's what a creature does. So if you're making sculptures, you need to think just as much about structure as if you were building architecture, and sometimes even more. I feel like this could possibly be an in to sculpture for architects. If they have an architectural frame of mind, they might be able to use that frame of mind to get into the structure side of sculpture. But a lot of beginner sculptures don't get the concept of structure because it seems to be hidden under the skin, under scales, under feathers, under fur, cloth, rippling mounds of muscle, whatever. And so they think, meh, no one will notice. I've had that thought plenty of times, and I still have it. It's just laziness. We all have a bit of laziness. But as a result of that thought, sculptures end up looking like blobs. We're here to avoid that. And that brings us to our first kind of mini practice session. We're at 5:16. Okay, intro took a bit longer than I thought. So for maybe 10 or less minutes, we're going to do a quick sculpt as a group. We're going to try making something with as much structure as possible, practice our proportions, anatomy, etc. Whatever you know, put it into practice. It doesn't need to be great. It doesn't need to be complete. It can be an arm, it can be a leg, it can be a torso. It can be a full thing, but it can be small if you need to make it small. If there are architects among you who feel sort of uncomfortable with organics, try and turn your knowledge of architecture into a strength for this exercise. Others use whatever mindset helps you. Yeah, so I'm going to do it along with you. And for the next, let's say, 8 minutes, we're going to do a little quick structural sculpt. This is sort of an unconventional thing to do, but I have a point behind it. And then we'll kind of look at each other's work and talk about it briefly and move on to the next point. So if you guys have access to your plots, go ahead and begin. I will start something up in the middle here. And if you don't feel like participating in the group sculpt, you are more than welcome to just watch me work on mine. What are we making? A creature, an organic. It can be a plant, animal, monster, anything. Hey, heck, you can draw something. Magnamala brings up a good point. Yeah, if you're not on the server or just don't feel like building, yeah, go for it. Draw something. All right, so I'm just going to make a little something beneath Eloku's head here. Yes, you can definitely draw it. Ark can code something, yes. He will make some elegant organic code. I feel like starting with the traps here, actually. And we're focusing on structure. Oh, no brush selected for me. Is anyone else having a problem? Oh, no, it works. Yeah, this was going to be one of the talking points later. Yeah, Blockworks has some NDA stuff. Just censor everything out with NDA. But yeah, we have some pretty useful stuff. Actually, I'm going to move this out from behind the bird head because it's a little bit weird. It's in shadow. There. I'm making my neck moving up there. I suppose what I'm doing is making kind of a small Eloku body. Got shoulders coming out on the sides here. This is small, so it's not representing anatomy very carefully. It's not a rendering of anatomy. But I'm trying to get a semblance of anatomy. Bringing down with the chest here. See how it's looking. Chest will be a little deeper. Not deeper, but taller, I guess. This is trash. I know, man. I took the risk of giving this class a pretentious name, but really I don't consider myself to be any kind of expert or professional or anything like that. I'm just kind of struggling along, and hopefully we can struggle together, improving each other. All right, so I'm coming around to the back now, and we know that the clavicle, or the collarbone, and the scapula kind of surround the neck like a thing. So we kind of represent those bones up here. I am using a mouse pad lip. Getting the back muscles down here. Getting some shoulder muscles. Let's see what time it is. All right, so we're gonna cut it off in like 3 minutes, and then move on to the next thing. But for those of you who are observing my method, you'll see that I'm just kind of rough shaping it with the lift brush with voxel. I'm not doing wireframes or anything like that because it's too slow for my taste. It's also rigid, and it ends up hollow, which slows you down later on if you're trying to make adjustments on your shape. I was going to make a bigger talking point on this, but it's not even worth it, honestly. Just don't wireframe. That's my advice. If you do, then it probably means you're a lot better than me, and you can actually visualize a shape well the first time and execute it. Unlike me, I have to make a lot of revisions. So I'll just kind of... Okay, so the torso is actually super thin. Why don't you just fill it after making an empty rigid one? Because that's inefficient. It's slow in the first place to make an empty rigid one, and it's silly to fill it up when it was empty. And then, yeah, it's just silly. All right. Let me just kind of fill out this torso a little bit. Give it a little more sense of being a torso, at least, because right now it doesn't look like one. Pearlescent Moon, your question leads into the next talking point, actually. So if I were to work on this longer, I would be focusing on getting the different pieces of the anatomy correct. And you can sort of see them starting to come in here. But I have other organics around this plot, so I don't really need to work too hard on making this one look polished. So now we have a bit more of a shape to the torso. And the neck is coming up and back. It needs a little bit more thickness. PR Sphere TNT 50. A little more thickness in back of the neck there. let's see what y'all came up with. Ooh, very nice hand. Do we have a P info or something? I don't know. Can I like see who made a plot or something? PS info. Nice. Thank you. Kenji. Nice hand. Cool hand. And I see, okay, interesting. This plot actually has some legs starting to move, and this is looking a bit more like a gesture, the start of a gesture sculpt, which is what we're going to get into next. Okay, cool. So we have some cute pink guy stuff over here, and a flesh-toned clay sculpt of a man moving very dynamically. Interesting. And we have a cool dragon. This one's nice. Kind of emblematic. I'm not streaming. I thought about it, but I don't know. Just didn't. Very nice dragon head. Good attention to structure and symmetry, and it's looking all nice and polished. This plant. So, okay, interesting. Yeah, I guess mine, in the amount of time given, wasn't able to accomplish a great deal of structure either. Most of these, they're focusing on getting the anatomy correct, or at least the basic parts in place. So that was the point of that little exercise. What are we at? 526. Okay, good. We see another one with some good structure. A lot of these are starting to get into gesture sculpture, and in fact, the way that we're taught to sculpt in many schools is by gesture first. Oh, take as long as I wish. Cool. I might go a little over time if needed. We'll see. Thank you. But I'll try not to do that. Actually, just to be helpful, for future reference, here are some good references on the structures of the body. The first one is a kind of 3D turntable site where you can find turntables of different real people who've been kind of rendered into sculpture. So it's pretty advanced stuff. And the second one is just one of my favorite images of human anatomy. There are many good ones, and depending on what pose you're doing, you might find different ones useful. But those are just to get some of you started if you feel like you need a bit of a kickstart. Now that we've been talking about it. So as for the questions, I appreciate them. Like, do I take pottery classes? No. But we will have a little Q&A afterward. So try and like write down your questions if you need help remembering them, and then ask them once we do that after the main stuff. Gesture. So let's say you have practiced structure in organics and you know a bit of anatomy and you know proportions, and you can make a nice straight figure of a human, of an animal, whatever. It just looks solid. It makes sense. Here's where we run into another problem with organics. The structure is there, but it looks a bit stiff, like a house. You've approached the body as if you were just an architect. But as a sculptor, you're not just an architect. You're also playing the role of a mechanical engineer, in a sense. This creature that you're making needs to function, it needs to move, and it needs to experience the world around it. And some of you in your plots have started to express that. And to drive these things, it needs motivation, feeling. And that's where you have to be an artist. You need to have an idea of what the creature's thinking and feeling. So the very basic way of expressing that is gesture. It's the line of action that flows through the form, and it shows what the figure is about to do, what it wants to accomplish. Is it jumping? Is it crouching? Is it slouching? Is it wounded? Is it trying to stand up as straight as possible? Even that is a form of gesture. And And as we discussed before, gesture is not the contour of the body itself. It's the line of the movement within the body going through it. So having just posted the ones for structure, I will now make a division with gesture in all caps. I shall edit the first one to say structure above it. There. Now gesture down here. If you look in the Discord again, this is a very nice basic diagram of what gesture looks like. Waiting for it to load. See if it loads. There it is. You can see on the left, there's this man about to swing a hatchet or a battle axe, kind of a, I forget what you call that. And you can see the blue line through his body. There are lines going through, there's a line going from his left arm to his right, showing the movement there. And then there's a line going down the curvature of his spine into his leg. And it's showing that he's beginning to push off of that leg, and his body is torquing a little bit as he winds up to swing that thing. There's the bend of the spine. He's about to swing that thing and straighten himself out. So that's a gesture. And then we have this woman sort of hunched over, looks like she's hiding something maybe. That's another line of action. And then there's this man standing up, a little bit arched, looking proper, looking prim. And that's a very subtle line of action there, very sophisticated, just a very nice subtle curve. So now, let's see, it is 5:31, we have time. Try and make a gesture sculpt for something like 8 minutes, I suppose. We'll go for it again. And I will do the same. I'm going to actually delete my structure one because it's kind of bad. What is a sculpture? It is a thing that you made all on your own. It's wonderful. It is a statue, basically, if you're legit asking the question. Yeah, I didn't mean to say jester. I meant to say gesture. Sorry if I messed up there. Oh, yeah, a sculpture is a statue. I'm actually going to log out and back in because I'm having a little chunk problem. Don't be afraid. If you hear noise surrounding me, it is just random movement in the house. Don't pay it any mind. I apologize for it. Okay, our chunk issues are solved. So for quick gesture sculpting, lift is okay, but one of the things I really like to use is the ball brush in World Edit. It's, you know, kind of low tech, I suppose, but just do //BR sphere and then your size. And if you're in this class, it's likely that you already know how to use that. I'm just going to go ahead and try and actually make a gesture sculpt for the big bird man this time, because I feel like confronting him. BR sphere 159, 14. Let's make it size 8. Mask 0. All right. I wonder what pose I want this man in. I don't care. We're going to find out. The thing with gesture sculpting or gesture drawing is you want to do it fast and you don't want to think too hard about it, because the essence is movement. And to move, you have to flow. What have I done here? I have made a significant curve of his spine. I wonder how this is going to turn out. Yeah, Angry Bird has a scary line now. Now I'm going to continue this gesture line. It's not seamless, but it's something. He's going to be like, hey, Well, my mom grew up listening to John Denver, Rocky Mountain High, Sunshine on My Shoulders. She was a big hippie before she turned to Jesus. That was a little too deep. And I myself am sort of a hippie. I'm not like, I don't live a very natural lifestyle, but I have philosophical hippie thoughts sometimes. Hey, only, you have a question? Would you like to save it for the Q&A, or would you like to ask it? That was a trick question. Save it for the Q&A. It wasn't intended to be a roast, but thank you. Oh, I accidentally started doing structure. Okay, shit. I accidentally did structure. That was really silly of me. I actually haven't done a lot of gesture sculpts before, and now my inexperience is showing. So this is showing that I need to work on my stuff. How did I accidentally build a shelf? Yeah, that's pretty meme. Well, okay, so the gesture sculpt is fairly all right. I should have curved more, but now what I really want to get in here is like the shoulder carriage. Yeah, he's coming like forward. So this is far too long a shoulder, infinitely too long. This is astronomically long. This is horrifying. All right, let's scale back a bit. There we go. Oops. The sphere entered my brain. Okay, we're safe. I should probably take a bit of water. So now, instead of like trying to make this structural and making nice, rigid anatomical lines representing the humerus and the radius and, you know, metacarpal, yeah, the carpals and metacarpals and all that shit, I'm just gonna make a really disastrous line representing the movement of the arm. Hold on. But yeah, like he's kind of coming up doing like a little fist, like a little antagonizing fist, like a that kind of thing. I think we've to some extent represented it. That was supposed to be kind of like an anime gangster, Yakuza type thing. So then we've got like this other, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Flioski, are you trying to organic and becoming... Oh my god, look at this gesture sculpt. Don't even look at me. Avert your eyes, for I am ashamed. See, so, you know, in a gesture sculpt, you don't, hey, Ark, just accept that I'm a noob and love me for it. The thing with a gesture sculpt is you don't need to really care too much about making it look awesome. You're just trying to get a sense of movement. So let's look around and see what you guys have done. It's surely better than what I've done. Cool. Yeah, sick. Same guy who built the hand. I don't have enough time to type the plot info stuff, but very nice. Looks like this guy's kind of ready to do multiple different things. Interesting pose here. We've got, ooh, sick beginning of a tree. Trees are like a great way to practice gesture sculpture, I think, because they're basically a gesture of nature. They have a bit of a subtle skeleton to them, a bit of a pattern, but it's like the way that they swirl is just great practice. Got a nice red human here. Yeah, I love Chim Sign. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Papa bless. Oh, I like this sculpture here. This one with the slabs, kind of half slabs, and the quartz. It's got a nice curve to the torso. It looks dancerly. Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you, Ark. That was you. Oh my gosh. There's a blue one here. Yes, yes. This blue one is leaning a bit forward. Looks like it might fall off balance at some point. Looks good though. I like the flow. Ah, I see. And we've got a very sturdy blue one behind it with like a cool pattern on the plot floor. Yeah, that one, he's getting ready to do something strong. Maybe he's gonna pull something, a big box. I don't know what he's doing, but he's gonna succeed, I get a feeling. Oh, sorry, you're lagging, nerd. Got this golden one. Actually, this has possibly the most movement out of all the other plots I've seen. All of them, I think, more so than mine. I like this gold one. It seems to be running in kind of a fantastic, floppy way. Ah, this red one. Another red one, doing a little run. Yeah, you guys are doing good stuff. Thank you for joining me and doing this. Oh, someone's getting artsy. This is interesting. Oh, dude, it's like a dinosaur with a red genie coming out of its back, dude. That's a very good gesture, showing the emergence of the genie or whatever it is. It's whoosh motion. Very nice. Yeah. So I'm gonna move on. It's 5:42. We're making decent time actually. Let's let's see, what did I post in here? Okay, so I posted the basic gesture diagram thing. Let's post another one real quick. This one is also useful. There it is. That one is, oh yeah, I meant to post that one earlier. Forgot to though. If you look in the Discord again, you can see lines of movement with arrows along them, showing not only a sense of movement, but also a sense of weight and gravity. You can see in the man putting his arms behind his back, an arrow going down through his head and then kind of curving along the slope of his body and out into his leg as he kind of protrudes that hip to the side, kind of puts his weight on it. And those lines are kind of representing where the weight is going, where the weight is settling. And then in the woman next to him, seen from the side, you can see the curve of her spine and of sort of the rotation of her hips and a slight curve going down her leg. And these are the sorts of things that get you out of the structural mindset and into the gestural mindset. And now, as my final link that I will give you, I will share a little video, actually, that I found on YouTube. And this particular guy, some of you might have learned from before because he's fairly popular. His name is Stan Prokopenko, and he does figure drawing tutorials on YouTube. He also gives critiques of drawings that his community sends him, and he brings in figure artists who have inspired him. So the channel is a very solid stepping stone for anyone looking to hone their figure drawing or sculpting skills and then sort of branch out into the community if they like. What good way to have people stalk me? Oh, did I link to my own YouTube somehow? I don't really mind. That's my... What? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're just saying Twitter. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I just linked you to the YouTube of a very good figure drawing teacher. And it isn't sculpting, and it isn't Minecraft building, but it's very good for learning your basics. And like I said, being sort of a backwards learner, I don't always seek out these types of things at the proper time. I do a lot of trial and error first. But in like the past month, I've been watching a fair bit of him and looking into other teachers as well. There are so many good ones. If you're enrolled in a school, that's probably the ideal way to learn this stuff. But if for whatever reason you won't or can't, as is my situation, then the internet is a wonderful resource, and there are all sorts of wonderful tools. I highly recommend nurturing yourself with the education that you need and the type of education that you can enjoy as well. So find things that are fun for you. Find teachers that are enjoyable to listen to and interact with if they are in person. Just rambling on there. So yeah, at this point, this is the type of stuff that I'm very slowly working on to help me figure out Eloku and a lot of the other creatures that I'm trying to make. Structure versus gesture was a good gateway to help me make some strides ahead in my sculpting ability. And I'm not there yet by any means, but I have faith that someday I will be able to complete a good Eloku sculpture for you guys. And I hope that this has helped some of you maybe figure something out, or at least get inspired to figure something out. We have a Q&A now, and this Q&A might serve to bring me back to a point that I forgot to address before. But basically, yeah, Vanessa, where do you want them to send their questions? Where's the best place for that, do you think? Either on the server or in Discord? Oh, yeah.
Q&A channel.
We have a Q&A channel, indeed. Where is that? Events chat, general chat, Q&A. So down the Discord list, there's a Q&A chat. Go ahead. Let's see. I have to scroll down without missing anything. Let's see. All right. Nico at 5:47 p.m. I won't say the time from now on, but it was funny. Nico asks, is worth making wireframe? I think some people can do it. Some people who have a great ability to visualize the entire form before making it. Because a wireframe done by hand or with a line brush is rigid and it's hollow. And if you have to adjust a part after that, you either have to fill it up or you have to fill in a hollow gap afterward, and that's just tedious. So for me, someone who adjusts all the time using World Edit, just using lots of small move operations of like 2 or 3 blocks, just lots of these over and over to get the proportions right. I couldn't stand building with a wireframe and having hollow space inside of the organic. It's just too slow in terms of the overall process, and it creates too many steps in the process. So I recommend, if you're like me, and I think most people are, deep down, you just need to just rough shape it with Voxel Sniper. That's the best thing to do. That's my method, and I impose it on all of humanity. Where's the other one? Face reveal by Lep. I've revealed my face before on my YouTube and I think on my Twitter a couple times, but I can't do it today. I'm sorry. How do you go about making small hands? I've already addressed this. Are you organic? No, I'm just gonna skip some of these. Oh yeah, what teams do you build for? Blockworks. Do you make faces at all? Sometimes. I did the little pink guy face. I'm not great with faces. I don't do a lot of faces. I don't do large faces. I mostly do figures. But sometimes I am proud of a small face that I've made, like on Shadow Dancer, an old sculpt that I did. It has a face that is at a 45, looking sort of down, and somehow I managed to get the proportions of it pretty spot on. So I was happy with that. You can do faces at a small scale if you try. Arcaniacs, advantages of using full blocks compared to stairs and slabs. In my experience, full blocks are the way to go if you're doing a relatively vertical organic, and stairs and slabs are good if you're making a horizontal organic, like a dog or a dog. Basically, dogs are the only horizontal animals, as everyone knows. Because slabs are horizontal and stairs are a little bit more flexible. But until we get vertical slabs, I don't recommend using them too much for vertical organics because they don't make it look better. They just make it look confusing. How important is drawing to sculpture and organics? Asks the magnificent Malo. I would say it's very important. I've been a figure drawer all my life, and it was probably the background that gave me the confidence to pursue organics in Minecraft. Some people just start with organics in Minecraft, so I'm not going to say that you need drawing as a background, but James, even, who does architecture and did a panel on architecture in this BuildCon, said that sketching is good for architects. It's good for anybody. It's good for anything. So definitely get into sketching because it helps you conceptualize. It helps you visualize quickly. If you're practicing anything, what you're looking at between you and perfection is thousands, tens of thousands, millions of attempts, tiny flawed attempts over and over and over. Practice, 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 practice. And that's sort of the spirit of gesture drawing and gesture sculpting. It takes a minute. It's going to look like crap, but you learn something from it, and then you build up and use what you've learned for the next one. How important is drawing to sculpture slash another one from aonly/Nico. I ask this because every time I make wireframe on my organics, people told me that is a waste of time. Correct. Akago Dai, how would you typically go about making a human organic in original pose that you can't find a reference picture for? Oh, that's so great. That's probably one of the things I would have liked to touch on because it's actually an important part of my process. I learn backwards, and there are other people who learn backwards as well, or think backwards. Or in other words, they think originally, it just kind of comes out of nothing or out of the subconscious, and then after that, they start thinking about external sources to educate themselves on how to do it correctly, stuff like that. Honestly, there is no correct way to go about making a human organic in an original pose. I mean, the very essence of it is that you've allowed yourself not to think about a correct way to do it. It's original, or at least that's how it feels to you. And that is how some of the greatest sculptures are made, I think. The sculpture just thinks to himself, what if a person moved like this? And often to inspire yourself to get to that point, you will probably have seen a lot of people or a lot of sculptures, and you'll have a lot of input that has sort of become a swirl of subconscious thought, and it's not something you're aware you're being inspired by, but it's kind of bubbling up here and there, and you get these seemingly original ideas, which are actually just bits and pieces of your past experiences and things you've seen put together. I talked too long. All right. Schlumpy, what about to deform or rotate with small degrees to create a new kind of leg? Yes, like you first do the left leg and copy it, deform, and paste it in. That's a perfectly valid method, I think. It's probably more useful for a structural study or like an anatomical study You're trying to really practice your form, your proportions, your anatomy. Because if you're doing something that is moving and acting, it's likely that the different muscles are going to be flexing in different ways, and your symmetry will not represent those muscles flexing differently in the, between the two legs. Stuffy asks, do you use any other tools for organics? Yeah. Or I don't know, by tools, if by tools you mean actual tools, yes, but NDA. If by tools you mean commands, yeah, I use just a lot of the really basic voxel sniper brushes and basic world edit commands. But I'm a pretty low maintenance guy as far as that is concerned. Xanaloy, I'm not sure how to say her name, but it's cool. Link to YouTube or Twitter? Sure. Let's allow everyone to stalk me. Hey, I went up a follower since this class began. It's pretty lit. I don't know where the heck to post that. I'll just post it in the events chat. It'd be terrible. There's my Twitter. That is a link to Twitter. Shit. Oh wait, it was a link to me. Sorry, I'm wasting your time, guys. I am a noob in every way, shape, and form. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. It's loading. Come on. Go to my profile. Twitter's been loading really slowly for me lately. Well, while we're doing that, let's look at another question. Back to the Q&A. Let's. Oh shoot. Where is it? And another by Zan here. And what did you choose? I didn't get a formal education in any kind of art because my high school had a really bad arts program, and for some reason, like, I chose to just go to this random private school because I had always been part of the school system, or I had been through like middle school. But my parents actually gave me the choice to go to this other school, like a super good arts school in my city. And like, I just turned it down because I don't know, like I felt very self-sufficient or something. I felt like I could just do it all by myself. And now that I'm sitting here, like, part of me wishes I had gone to that art school. It could have turned me into a completely different person. So it's really dangerous to like go wishing about that kind of stuff. And I'm grateful for the journey that I've had, sort of the solitary learning by mistakes without very many mentors journey. There's a lot of value to that. And I believe, I'm only 27. I still have a lot of time to learn. So it's fine. Lars, how do you make those really small figures that you have to make by hand? I'm not the best at those. We have a guy, Will, or on Twitter, I believe he's called Just Some Monkeys. He's very good at making small organics. He doesn't necessarily do people, but very often, but like, there's definitely a special skill to making these small organics. Use lots of stairs and slabs. I say that would be the place where you almost always want to use slabs and other types of blocks to get your strange little details in there. How would you make clothes? I wouldn't. But sometimes I do, and it is good to look at references, like with everything. And it is also good to think about just the way that things curve and fold together and float together. Cloth is natural, and once you get a sense for the principles of how it moves, it is not very difficult. Creases in fabric, similar question. Yeah, what I said before. As for an efficient method for making sharp creases, there are a lot of questions. I'll get back to you on that. I'm not sure. take the poses you're trying to build yourself, move your limbs. That helps a lot, says Paul. I agree with that. A lot of great figure artists and sculptors have taken up the habit of just standing up and moving around. And after like making something, even if they've just been sitting the whole time, their body feels a sort of empathy for the figure that they were sculpting or drawing. Say if they were drawing a boxer who was throwing a super hard left, they feel an ache in their shoulder. It's actually a real phenomenon that artists have. It's an empathy with the creation. It's really fascinating. How do you color organics? Do you use largely monotonous palette or lots of gradients? I use a largely monotonous palette, as you can see. I don't do a whole lot with color. I'm more of a shape guy. Vincent, purple, with the proportions knowledge you have, can you hand draw a human? Yeah, I can quick draw a human pretty good. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll look like one. I've been meaning to post more of my art on Twitter, so I will definitely do that. Let's see. What kind of organics do you prefer? Fantasy-based organics or more realistic ones like humans? Asks Repay. I prefer humans, but once in a while I do a weird fantasy thing, kind of surreal thing, abstract shape. Brother Leon asks, Chimalus, did you just skip over mine due to it being too unskilled? What? Oh, I'm sorry. Or did you just not see it? If you would be so kind. Yeah, dude. Definitely. I should not have read that out loud. But yeah, dude, I definitely will check yours out because I believe the server will be up for a bit longer. Yeah, you guys feel free to, I suppose, I don't want to speak too soon, but keep working on your plots for as long as it is possible. If you feel like it, we can keep having fun. Magnificent Malo asks, are there any organics artists that you would consider comparable to cartoonists? So, I mean, the defining thing about, cartoon style is that it exaggerates, right? It exaggerates the proportions and other things. I mean, I consider myself to do a bit of cartoony stuff, not like full-fledged cartoon stuff. I'm trying to remember. Well, like there's Davici on PMC. He's a very skilled sculptor, one of the best, and he does a lot of anime organics. He's the only one that comes to mind. I know there are others though. Let's see. Let's keep looking. How many gray hairs? None. Nico asks, is possible to create an organic with an emotion? Yeah, I think so. I try to create mine with emotions. I don't always succeed. It's good to remember that emotion is linked to the word motion. So an organic that is moving or doing something is on its way to feeling something. And then you can reverse engineer that into feeling. So many questions, guys. I appreciate it. What would I criticize about that leg? It actually looks pretty good. Maybe make the thigh a little thicker, Ripe. The thigh is about as thick as the calf right now. Did I ignore you, Isaac? I'm sorry. How do you do arms? You don't. Let's see. Yeah, so 603. Anything else? I feel that I have said just about all that I have to say. Apart from the things. My gesture sculpt looks so great. Oh man. This is his final form. This is Eloku's final form. I appreciate you guys coming out. A lot of fun. Yeah, I feel like for the sake of just keeping things in order, I'm gonna wind down pretty quick, but let's look at a few more. Sculptures. Who is the one who's still needed? I don't know. You might be able to hear someone talking in the background. Oh, yeah. Yo, brother Leon. You still there? If you're in game, hit me up. I need to know what your plot is so I can go to it. I will TP to you. That's right, I can TP. I've sent you a request, good sir. Sweet. Oh, interesting. Okay. This lizard is crawling up a rock. It is great. I'm just looking at it. I think. I like the reach. I like the reach of its right arm. I get a sense that it's going to start to pull itself up with that arm. Or leg, whatever. And then with the back legs, structurally, those need a little work. So I just go to some lizard reference images. You might have had some already, but it's tricky to figure out how it works for, you know, a creature that isn't your own species sometimes. So good luck with that. Yeah, good gesture. It'd be nice if, you know, those back legs showed a bit more gesture, a bit more sense that they're kind of crawling forward and starting to push the lizard up along this slope. Oh, yo, On Fire just asked about a masterclass for trees. Actually, Pluto, I forgot how to say his full name, but he did give a masterclass on trees and organics. Yeah, Pluto there. His name always confuses me. Yeah, he gave a masterclass, which I believe has been recorded, and he streamed it as well. So, oh, okay. But you'd like me to do one too? I don't think I would ever do a masterclass on trees because I'm like, I mean, I'm not a master of organics, let alone trees specifically. Not too experienced with trees. Let's see, Isaac. What's up, Isaac? Okay, so we also have logic. Ooh, we have multiple requests. Let's see. Wait, so who actually? Oh my god. Okay. Okay, we'll do Undead Park first. I sent you a request. Ha! Okay, well, his right arm is broken, but otherwise, he looks jovial and happy, and I like him. He's doing a very nice little skip there. Yeah, his right arm is broke as hell. But you know, if it's a gesture sculpt, we can forgive that. I like it. Yeah, you guys can, I believe you can download your plots. So If you don't have a chance to work more on them, breaking is a gesture. That's absolutely right. It would just be nice to see what's breaking his arm. Maybe we could do an interactive organic with him, Nurgle. On fire. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time as well. Let's see. Okay, who was next? We had TPA failed logic. Sup? I sent you a request. Sick. This is actually really good. I don't know if I've seen a lot of your builds before. I should look into. This looks cool. This is a good tree. Out of curiosity, is it a certain type of tree or is it just kind of a gesture tree? A gesture tree. That's kind of an interesting term. Yeah. I mean, you just get a very strong sense of the branches kind of spouting up and then relaxing down to the sides, almost like water bubbling up or something. It's cool. Let's see. Who else needs? Yeah, please do shout out to me again if you'd like a TP. I've forgotten some of the. There we go. Kenji. Oh, and then purple after that. Okay. Oh yeah, you did the hand one. That's right. And the very cool. Okay, so like this small pirate skirmisher is looking really good, actually. I should check out more of your builds. If I could, I would just look at everyone's builds all day. Yeah, I really like this one because he looks balanced. He's aggressive, but at the same time he looks ready to hop back. I think this was the same organic that I noticed before that seemed ready to do multiple different things. So that's good. You have a good sense of balance, and you're showing him in a very realistic fighting pose, a pose that would be advantageous to be in. Cool. Let's see. There was another. Okay, so there was above purple or something. I forget. I think that's you. Purple, I sent you a request. Yeah, like he's swinging the sword, but he's not. It's not like a full forward swing. The momentum is not entirely forward. It's kind of balanced, I think. At least that's how I see it. This gray dude is actually very interesting. He looks kind of like an alien. Yeah, so for some of these, I might just kind of get off of the main like chat and do them on more of a personal basis in the next half day or so. But I'll try and get around to as many as I can in the next. I'm not sure what to make of this gray guy. Okay, from the back he's got this weird lean to him. This is interesting. Yeah, it's good gesture in that you've got this line kind of coming up through the foot, through the leg, and making a kind of nice shallow curve up through the spine. And he's just leaning slightly to the left. It's a good gesture. Cool. All right, let's see who's left. I can't give the dedicated attention that I might like. There are so many of you wonderful people. I think I might be wrong, but I think Flioski was next. It's a fun name to say. And then Zaneloix. Oh, did I skip you, man? I'm sorry. Oh, yes. This one is looking good. Yes, this will turn out to be a proper organic, I think. Oh, I had problem. Why is that? The face way. I can't. I see you're experiencing my kind of problem. Oh, Pearlescent Moon, yo, sorry if I missed you before. Yeah, how did you create your thing? Did you draw it? If you drew it, feel free to DM it to me on Discord or on Twitter, or, okay, let's see. I'm going to Zanaloix. How do I say your name, dude? And then I'll get to you, Pearl. Zanaloix. Where's the stress? Is it on the Zane or on the Loix? Is it Zanaloix or Zanaloix? Okay, sweet. I sent you a request, by the way, dude. Zanaloix. Sweet. Okay. I'm excited for Pearl's organics. All right, let's see. Zanaloix. Oh, he's what? What have you done to this man? Ah! I'm sorry for laughing. Okay, let's see. Why his arm though? Was it like a ghost egg? Did the ghost friggin' like incubate inside of his body? Ugh! Okay. Not okay. That's not okay. Well, yeah, I mean, he's just like flying back. He was not ready for what happened to him. He was not ready at all. That's kind of what I get out of this. It's a very interesting style, actually. I like kind of the blocky style of the abdomen and the. I don't know if he looks happy. I mean, I just can't imagine anyone being happy about this. But his face is cool. I like his Dumbo ears. All right, enough with you, you memer. It's your pink guys. Oh, your pink guy is punching. I like your punching pink guy. And the small one has like the best face I've ever seen. Okay, let's see. Pearlescent Moon, I'm sending you a request. Oh, dang. How long did this take you, my friend? Few hours. Very nice for a few hours. Hey, only Nico, did you want me to look at something? Did I miss you? Or are you good? Appreciate you coming out. Okay. I am worrying now, but have a good night, dude. Okay, so this organic is to a level of completion that, like, I can actually talk anatomy with you. And I don't know if I even have perms to do this. I have not, because it is not on a plot in my Masterclass thing. But the hip that I am sitting next to, or sitting on, this hip, if you are here and seeing, oh, you can add me, sweet. I will grief. Thank you, okay. So the hip that the red block is on now. Guys, so yeah, I'm just looking at Pearlescent Moon's organic now, and if you would like to see her organic, feel free to send her requests. I cannot accept them on her behalf. So the hip needs a bit more to it. I would bring that hip up a few blocks and match it up with the hip on the other side. Yeah, a little more girth on that, as Fliowski says. That's the first thing I notice. Waist too skinny is a question of style. I'm not gonna go pretending to tell you, what anatomy is correct for your style of organic. I feel that, I could be wrong, but this organic, it has kind of an ethereal style to it. Maybe it's the wonderful greenery underneath that makes me think that way. I think once the hip is thickened up a little bit, we'll have a better idea about the waist. Another thing that I noticed with a lot of organics builders, a lot, like this is actually possibly the largest problem that organics builders have with anatomy. Not the largest, but like in the top 5 maybe, is the shoulders, especially when the arm is raised. You have forgotten to apply the deltoids, my friend. If you take your own arm and lift it above your head, as this person is doing, you will find that your deltoid just about touches your neck. It gets pressed right up with your trapezius muscle. And what you have here is a big hollow between the deltoid, or where the deltoid should be, and the neck. The arms and shoulders are at a pretty good width. Not quite perfect, but that's a pretty small edit for later if you feel like really nitpicking it. Just fill in those deltoids. Look at feel your own shoulders, and also look at references. There are plenty of references of people with raised arms. You can find references of everything now. Yeah, I'm pretty skinny too, but no matter what body type you have, your deltoid is still going to fill up that space pretty significantly. And there'll still be a little gap. What about the penguin? What penguin? He's talking about a penguin. Back at the Masterclass or somewhere else? Bird above? Oh, yeah. I remember seeing that at first and thinking it was amazing, and then I forgot about it because I'm a human person. I like it. It looks kind of like a kiwi or something. Okay, yeah, it's a kiwi. It's cute. I like it. Is she like playing volleyball with the kiwi? Is she about to set the kiwi to the spiker? Oh, okay. Yeah, she's about to set the kiwi. No, that wasn't savage at all. I'm just saying. It looks playful. I like it. Yeah, like honestly, I'm kind of curious to see what would happen if, like, you don't have to, but what would happen if right now you just tried to take the hip up a little bit? I'm just curious. You don't have to. All right. Well, good job. Very good job. I'm gonna go to Jekko. Yeah, BuildCon dudes, just tell me, like, if I need to die, and I will. Let's see. Wait, I need to. I like flew to Jekko and just like wandered off into nothingness. Forgot. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, Jekko's dragon. But like, I don't know. I was just wondering if you guys had like a closing ceremony scheduled or something. I wasn't sure how that was gonna go. Okay. I mean, this dragon is doing like an awesome twisty dive move. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right, because we have more things to do. Yeah. Well, it's cool. Let's keep hanging around here, playing with my students then. That sounded weird. Anyway. This dragon is actually like really legit. Chim, go crit me, I want to die. Jekko, anyone who has like, anyone who just like wants me to check out more of their stuff, and like I can almost guarantee you that I do want to check out more of your DM me on Discord or Twitter, because like some of you guys have especially good stuff, and I'm always looking to see more good organics and just good builds in general. So this class is also a chance for me to expand my horizons. I'm just trying to see if there's anything I could critique about this dragon. Portions look good. Yeah. Anyone else need another eye? I can provide it. Oh, speaking of which, I have to like fix pink guy's lower leg. It's way too thin, dude. It's pathetic. There we go. Oh man. No, like pink guy just deserves a leg that is possible to stand on. That's all I'm saying. All right. Are we good on plot reviews for now? Last call on plot reviews. Think I might wind down, unless someone just like wants to play around with organics for a while. All right, let's see. Okay. Conquistador Bob. I am using a mouse pad. Let's see. How did you know? Because I click. Yeah. Sorry about that. Let us check out the legs of the lizard. Okay. Definitely getting closer now. Yeah, definitely getting closer on the legs here. Brother Leon. The right one appears to have too many joints still. There, you're starting to fix it. I'm not looking at a lizard reference image presently, but make sure you pay close attention to the lengths of the legs too, so that they don't look too out of sorts with the body. I just get a feeling that the back legs might be slightly too long. I have found that lizard legs are surprisingly long in the back and in the front when you actually stretch them all the way out, but maybe not quite this long. Good stuff. Let's see, who else? Did Nergi want me to come visit? Did I get it right? Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, this one has a really cool gesture. It's like kind of doing like, he looks like he's doing kind of a sidestepping, strafing maneuver, like he's starting to like circle with his opponent. It's kind of the feeling I got from this. He's leaning his weight a little bit back. You guys should know that Nurgle is a fellow organics builder on Blockworks, highly skilled, many great projects. We are honored to have him here. Let's see. Someone else needed a look. Sorry. Okay. Saruman. AAA971 asks if I know anything about structures. Yes, I do. Because, as I said, organics are structures. What you're meaning to ask is, do I know anything about architecture? No, I don't. Yeah, it's what we all mean when we say structure, but like, I just feel like picking on the community a little bit because I feel that the word architecture would be more useful. And less confusing. Wait, sorry, I'm gonna ask for you to accept my TP again, Saruman. I just want to make sure I'm at the right plot. I started flying around absent-mindedly. Thank you. Okay, yeah. I don't know why I left. Oh yeah, this is the one with the amazing floral genie sprouting up from the back of the possibly dying dinosaur. Very interesting work. The dinosaur could just use a bit of editing in the front of the shoulders, mainly the front shoulders. I should just say shoulders. They come out a bit thick on the sides, yeah. But like some of that thickness is good because it gives a sense that the dinosaur is like really hunkering down, kind of putting its weight on those legs. So the gesture of the dinosaur is actually quite good. Although, well, I guess I'm not exactly sure what the dinosaur is thinking at this moment. It looks like it might just be walking nonchalantly forward, actually, or that it might be buckling and starting to fall because of what is happening to it. Like, I'm not sure. You might want to communicate that a little more clearly. Who else has a thing? Anybody? OKK70. Oops. Didn't type the whole thing, but it still went through. Ooh. This unicorn is beautiful. I believe yeah, the combination of the bone block and the quartz actually makes for an interesting texture. Overall, the form looks good. It's an elegant form. What I think you might be suffering from is just a small perspective problem. That's just my guess. Because maybe I should backtrack a little bit on what I was saying there. Well, the head's too small. The neck is a little too small, the head's too small. And it creates kind of an interesting effect as if, even when you're looking from the side or a little bit from the back, it makes it look like the unicorn is traveling further away from you than it actually is, because the head and neck are a bit smallish. And that might have something to do with the way that the direction you were kind of looking from as you made it, or something. Yeah. Thank you guys again for coming out. It's been an amazing BuildCon. I haven't had the pleasure of attending every single panel and class, but the ones I have been very informative, and I plan to watch many of the other ones that have been recorded, like yours, Plutos. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see it live. I suppose with other classes, the chats just kind of hang around for a while, so maybe I'll come back here later, and if any of you are still around working on organics, we'll hang out a little. Could be fun. for now. Going to bid you all beautiful day, evening, morning, whatever it be on your planet. Cool. Yeah. Private messages are fun. I hope to keep in touch with some of you. Zane likes. Wait, who were you asking? Were you asking Pluto or were you asking me? Pretty sure you were asking Pluto because you're asking about trees. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. I'm gonna go and eat something. Rustin, what's up? Yes. So actually, the question directed toward Pluto reminded me of another little thing I wanted to add. I have just a list of different commands that I use for organics, and it might not be that useful because they're pretty basic, but even for those who are experienced with commands, it might just give some perspective on my particular style of building. Yeah, we all have our list, so figure I'll put my list in there too. I will put that in the events chat shortly. Oh my. What is happening? Strangled by Art. That's an awesome name. Appreciate you. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Wait, is this the person from that video? Is this like the claymation person who like talks in the voice that's raised by an octave? Oh, dude, I have to link you guys that video on Twitter. It's bonkers, dude. But this reminds me of that. It's pretty chill. I like it. Yeah. So I'll be back to see if some of you guys are still hanging out. Papa bless, and remember to strive for perfection. Yeah, I think that's just about it.